last week no demos. Result can set something. Tutorial about harvest. So I can set something up to string. I can't remember what. Nobody does, but there is a recording today. Today we have a demo.
Hisham, did you want to say something? There's some noise coming from you, but...
Okay. Yeah, no, we don't understand anything, Hisham. It's like something like that. Topics.
I also have an announcement.
I also like to talk about the release.
I would like just a few minutes to promote the Orchard Harvest conference again.
Okay, let's start with Victoria.
Okay, thank you very much. So as I mentioned last week, we are working on the contract with the Orleans Hotel to figure out the best way to have the conference there. We got almost all of our questions answered, so I don't want to go ahead of myself, but I'm really hoping to have the final contract the end of this week or the latest the beginning of next week. If we have the contract, we can move forward with the other organization parts. And I just again wanted to mention that we are open for sponsorship as well. If you would like to sponsor our event, you can contact us at orchardharvest@lombiq.com or the contact at orchardcore.net email address, and you can also follow our weekly news on the Orchard Harvest 2024 GitHub discussion board. And that's it from me. Thank you.
You? Other topics, or we should go to the status?
I would do a quick announcement.
Okay.
And I'm also posting something in the chat, although there's not much yet. So this will be the first. We'll do a live event, a live stream, a pair programming session with a community member who you may have seen go by the name Zig. So we will go through a theme development project with him. It's his project. But it will be an actual pair programming session, so I will be kind of the navigator, so who watches the screen, comments on it, asks questions, suggests improvements, and Zig will be who will do the actual coding. So the idea here is that we can share some best practices, share some knowledge about how to work in Orchard Core without it being kind of a tutorial, but really organic. So it's like joining a colleague and working with them on an actual real life project. So if you would like to join, please open it. It will be next Monday. You will see the schedule on the event. Yeah, in your time zone. That's supposed to work for most people. And if you would like to join as a guest for such a pair programming session, also let me know.
Basic 10 a.m. Pacific time, so whatever it is in your time.
Yep. It's, I believe, 5 p.m. UTC.
Yeah, like, oh, that's the name of the user.
Yeah, SIG, I think, opened a couple of issues, was active in the discussion board. So, you may have seen some activity from him.
Okay. Status. Orchard one will be quick. I checked and there was nothing done in the last week because Benedict must be on vacation or resting for all the work on Orchard one. Orchard Core 23rd. This one, update 3290. Just improving the root escapes, string escapes. Service. Revising contribution docs. Okay. Refreshing the docs everywhere.
Yep, we didn't actually have had proper contributions docs before, and what we had was slightly duplicated and slightly wrong. So I completely revamped it, integrated it with the rest of the documentation, linked it from various places. So now contributing to Orchard Core, and not just documentation, because we had a documentation page for that, but contributing anything else to Orchard Core should be, well, at least more or better elaborated in the documentation.
Okay, thank you. Clicking dots. I hate these dots. So, for example, you go on the step screen, there is a SQL connection string that you can copy paste, but obviously there's a dot at the end of the SQL connection string, and then you have to copy paste everything but the dot. Here it's a sentence. Okay, but yeah, it's behind the text. I was beat by that on the setup screen earlier. Welcome first time contributors. Okay. Rename identifier property to username or email. Clarity. Okay. Interesting. Yep, so we talked about it last week. Just for me. Thank you, Mike. Sobotama as a contributor for code. Validate JavaScript condition layer rules. HTML error. Okay. Try to evaluate the code, and if there is a pass exception, add another error. Okay, this is the parser exception now. JavaScript exception error once evaluated. Okay, data migration for the rules. Let's use JavaScript. GraphQL support for UserPickerField. Not so good actually. Need to check if that is correct. We usually we don't reference modules from modules. One question why we need to reference the module, or if something should be moved from the module to the core project. That is used from there. So the field, I see, we need to access the field. So that's the question. Why do we not have to do that for the other ones? Or do we do that for the other ones? No, you see, we don't reference other modules.
And if it's a content field, it should probably be part of the core.
It's a user picker field. It's yeah, but it's user module. That's why. Oh, I see what you mean. The other fields are all in that thing, or in the content
It should be
field
moved to the
something.
core.
I don't know, because then it will mean the core users project, maybe. Not
Yeah,
the
that's what I'm
module.
saying. Users
Okay.
core. Yeah, you move the
Okay.
field and you don't need that weird dependency.
Azure AWS-specific image caches for ImageSharp.
Yeah, where this is coming from is that if you are on Azure and use Azure Blob Storage, so a remote media storage implementation, then for every file, Orchard Core will sync it down to the local file storage. That may be fine, but in the case of resized images by ImageSharp, that also means that the resizing happens. So if you clear that local cache, like your web server is ephemeral and you are deploying it all the time, then that will hit your web server quite hard. So you need a persistent storage for the cached images. And ImageSharp has built-in support for two providers, apart from the local one that Orchard Core uses by default, one for S3 on Amazon and one for Azure Blob Storage. So I added support for these.
And how does it work? So the resized ones are stored on Blob Storage. And then when we serve them, do we still serve them from the local file system, or the link
no. So that's also happening directly from Blob Storage. This is just for the files managed by ImageSharp. So the standard media files still are synchronized to the local storage.
Interesting, because maybe I misunderstand how it works. When we did that, in Orchard one, we were resizing on the blob storage, right, and serving the URLs from the blob storage. And then when we started doing that in Orchard Core with the new ImageSharp, then James South said, "Oh, this is not how it's supposed to work. We should serve it from the local file system." and don't store the. I think that's what he said. So maybe they changed their mind in the time.
Yeah, probably that was the reason. And also for standard standard media files, there's also a reason that we are using the static file middleware that needs local files and everything related to it. So that's fine, or that's rather a different question, because the ImageSharp images are a different pipeline, so they don't go through the static file middleware.
Okay, well, whatever, it's more options, so it's better. What is that thing? I don't think the actions with parser, or is that a new thing?
Yeah, this is just for I just factored out some common codes from.
Oh, I remember. I see, because we have templates to define the location in the container per tenant, so we need to be able to map the container.
Yeah.
Okay.
The prefix are templates.
I'm pretty sure I also had the same thing a few weeks ago to Mike. What is that thing? Why do we need to parse options? Okay. Web entity 218 update. Mkdocs update. Libraries update. Merge 183.
Yeah, that's a security update. We actually got a security inquiry by somebody from the community that, hey, we have vulnerable packages, which was true. Two of them actually, Azure.Identity and ImageSharp, both of which were already updated in main, but if you don't want to wait with the 1.9 or 2.0 release for that, then we needed a 1.8.3, so that's what I published.
Why didn't we talk about it on Tuesday?
There was no meeting on Tuesday. I think that happened after that.
Yeah, that was on this was on the Thursday, but yeah, there was a meeting on Tuesday. So why did we ship something in like 24 hours, let's say? Without, I don't know, I didn't see any I wasn't there. I just arrived back yesterday. I just saw a lot of notifications in my mail at some point. I wonder what's happening that we are shipping 183, and I mean, somebody knew, but I didn't know. I was surprised. I usually know. So I don't know if there were discussions about.
I believe you should also get these emails or this notification or this inquiry van to contact at orchardcore.net, so the one that Antoine manages. But
I need to check my spams, and I didn't see anything. And yeah. But for these things here, there is nothing secret. It's like there is a public dependency that is the security vulnerabilities. And so at Microsoft, the idea is that if, because lots of Microsoft NuGet packages also depend on, like, let's say Azure Identity, right? But not all of them are updated because there is a 1.11 twin. So the logic that is applied is if a NuGet package depends on that thing with the vulnerability, there is nothing that is redeployed. Even if there is an updated version that doesn't have the public the fix. What it's up to the customer to bump their direct dependency to Azure Identity to the safer version. And what Microsoft will ship in this case is project templates that have a dependency on a vulnerable version. So Orchard, you could say this is like a project template, so this should be updated. So that's, let's say, a valid vector to deploy a new version, but it's really not an issue, I believe, to not ship. Even more in like 24 hours, like someone says, oh, you are referencing the wrong version, you should update right now to the new version. I don't think it's worth deploying a new set of packages or the packages in the
well, use these packages directly. So this was not just a transitive dependency. We actually use Azure.Identity transitively via SQL.
No, even directly. No, it's just actually it's not worth deploying maybe a new set of packages because we depend on the version. You can wait for the next standard release to update the versions, even for security thing. Because there is a mitigation that is very easy. Instead of updating whatever version of Orchard doesn't have a dependency, update the version that has a prefix. That's the same action from the user's perspective. That's just what the idea.
I think it works if Orchard Core defines an open version in the new spec. No.
No. You in your CS project, whatever your CS project is, you add a reference to Azure Identity 1.11.2, and that's what will be used by your application.
Even if Orchard Core references
even whatever. Your CS project wins over everything.
Okay, that's what I actually recommended for the transitive dependencies to one of the community members.
So when I create with updated packages, and this one has got like being bumped every month, every week with security issues. I think I've seen that one so many times with security issues that needs to be updated. And I know this, yeah, and so what we have, let me show you, for instance. Do I have an example? So you see this one Azure entity is used by SQL client by lots of other packages that we use in ASP.NET. So there is something called component governance for every public repository of Microsoft. And we get alerts whenever we have a dependency, even transitive dependency on a repository to something that is unsecure, like this one. So this one appears a lot, all the time. And what we do is, or what we did was, every time we saw a notification, we'd be like, oh, let's update ASP.NET Core to reference a different version of that. Even a direct dependency if we have a transitive dependency. But you don't see new ASP.NET Core versions shipped every week almost, right? Sometimes, yes, like every few weeks when there is a security issue in ASP.NET Core, like 8.1 or 8.0 and 8.02 and so on, things like that. And that's the same way, like, yes, this is updated in the main branch, but no, this is not shipped with a patch version when there is an update. That's the idea. And we asked the security team about that, like, when should we take new versions? And they said, if it's a NuGet package that depends on that, even indirectly, transitively, then you don't update it. You don't ship, well, you can update it, but you don't ship a new one. It's not necessary. If you have a project template that references the wrong version, then you should update it. That's what they say. So I wonder actually, no, our project template, they don't depend on that. I don't know. No, should we actually, I will check if we should update the project templates with a direct dependency to fix the security vulnerability. Because you mentioned SQL was still referencing the old one. And we do depend just on SQL, not that directly. So maybe we should update the project templates going to that when a NuGet package references the old version. I will check again because there was I had a discussion a couple of weeks ago about that. What's the recommended way to handle that? Okay, good. I'll come back with some more information. recommendation to handle that, because this is not the last time we have the issues with anything in the Get packaging. View permissions. So we got a demo a few weeks ago from George, and now it's merged. Feature view permissions. Export specific workflow. Export. Anyone know what it does? Step.
Maybe open up that issue. I haven't seen it.
Export a specified workflow from the workflow management interface. Export a workflow. And the workflow. Same thing. Oh, that's the bot. Oh. The bot. Workflow type store. What is it exporting? All the things that were selected?
Sorry, say again?
I'm wondering if it's exporting all the workflow instances of a specific type or just the ones that were selected.
This is only exporting workflow types, and the bulk feature is from the
Oh, the
admin.
definition. Okay, I see. And why isn't it so? That's the first time we do that. And as every first time, there would be more times. If there is a first time, we can't say there is. So why is it better than the export feature that already has the feature?
It's a different approach. So this way you can export specific workflow types.
And yeah, but in the current export feature that is implemented here, all workflow type deployment source this file, which is invoked by the import export module controller UI. Now this thing is invoked by the workflow controller itself. So the import export feature is now also integrated in the workflow module. Maybe easier from the user's perspective.
It's not really invoking this actually, but rather this has some code that's invoked by the others, but it's not.
I see that here. All workflow type deployment source dot process workflow type, which is the thing which is here, which has been now refactored in another method, so it can be used from the controller directly.
Yeah, it's a common method, but it's not like it's running that all workflow type deployment source. So it's not doing the same thing as the deployment feature does. Yeah.
Okay.
Standard export.
Workflow types store get async item ID, workflow types, process workflow type, in a file, return the file, deployment source, process workflow type, oh, it's just invoking the same thing, but from a different view. So instead of workflows, use workflow type. That's the view. Yeah, so that's the risk. So this is working. I mean, there is no issue with that. The only concern is the what's the word? Diversifications of ways to do the same thing. Like if you want to import export today, you go to the import export menu and you have access to all the things that you can import export. You still do have that, but now this is also, there is a new way to do that just for workflows there. This can be seen as it's easier for users to do something when they want to just manage the workflow. This can be seen as then will we see tomorrow more PRs doing that for everything?
Also inconsistency. Was there a reason why we don't we can't add this option inside the export, the central export?
No, I think it's there.
Oh, is it?
Because when you go to the workflow, you can export
two ways to export. Okay.
You can export a workflow type today. There is the code is there, workflow type deployment source. And what they did is invoke this source explicitly from the workflow container, the workflow controller. Yeah. So it's just one more thing. It's just, yeah, that's the diversification of the ways to do the thing that were designed before. It's not the first time we say, no, we can already, like, what was it? I think, Mike, when you joined the project, you came with something where we also say no, because we already have a way to do that. for you, it might not be the best way, but for most people, what was it? I think, was it rated? Maybe it was rated to workflows also, like to create workflows directly instead of making them generic. I don't know, but it was like all workflows released. There was something like that. And we said, let's keep the generic one.
So
okay.
It's a good point. By the way, actually the other all workflows step count export just selected workflows, so that actually exports all of the workflows. There's no option, but it's a good point that we could have added this to there as well instead.
Okay, well, this one doesn't hurt. One counterpoint to my argument is that we have on content items, do we have that, or as a feature, a way to export a content item, like to see the JSON of a content item? Or don't we have that? Like, when you list the content items in the actions, is there like as JSON or export something that will return the JSON of the content item?
You can export single content items, yes. And one of our Lombiq modules is a feature to view the JSON as well.
More automatic documentation build checks. So if I understand that correctly, it's to verify that the docs are not faulty when you submit something, like missing leaks.
Yeah, like broken links, formatting errors, whatever mkdocs notices, and now it will fail. Now it will fail the build as well.
Okay. Excellent. Docs Autoroute handle prefix as constant. Okay. Okay. Cool. So what else? Topics. Then Mike, you wanted to talk about the release? We talked about it. Is there anything more?
No. So there is a suggestion to release 2.0 instead of 1.9 because we just have so many breaking changes in that 1.9 release. And I think we should release 2.0 instead, and then annually or so release a new major version. So throughout the year, we'll try to release, minor versions. And if there is a change, as long as it has a path, so it's not a breaking change, then we'll take it in the minor. But then anything breaking, we'll have to wait till a major. And so there's an issue out there if you want to open it up real quick, because I'm hoping for people to vote on it. Some did, many did, but I don't know. I think we should just make a decision so we can, yeah, that one. I think we need to make a decision in this meeting, so that way, if we need to, we should probably change some of this stuff. And to prepare for 2.0 instead of 1.9.
Yeah, my opinion is that it's just a number. Like I don't care if people care about having it called 2.0. I will not be opposed to that. Even if it didn't have like major features or it's breaking change, let's follow some variants to 0. And the day we are version 18, fine. Please.
Yeah, I think the main benefit of doing so, if you're a library writer and you want to write a library that depends on 1.x, you should be able to. If you don't want to say one, if you want to say 1 but not 2, then you should be able to without breaking anything. So anything we should release within that 1.x should also work, without breaking their project. I think that's the advantage. So anything, breaking, we'll put it in a major, so that way anybody writing libraries, they're able to specify which, version their project want to be tightly coupled with, or at least dependent on. So I think that's the main benefit of this approach. Plus, as Zoltan mentioned before, we need to stabilize our code, and this is like the first step to do that. So we can take back, version 2 and try to stabilize it with 2.1 or whatever we need to, but at least we'll have a major version out there instead of, putting all these breaking changes in a minor.
Yeah, my main concern is whatever the semantic numbering is used, people should be able to upgrade, to have a path to upgrade without being broken too much, like wait, or I need to wait a year because I don't have time to upgrade here. No, upgrade should be easy. From X to Y version, it should be easy. So that's my...
I agree. I also agree with that.
Because even if we call it 2.0, it doesn't solve the issue like that they can't upgrade. Like if it's called 1.9 and they can't upgrade, that's an issue. If it's called 2.0 and they can upgrade, that's awesome. Okay, the number doesn't matter to me. It's just we should not have people stuck behind and can't even be able to upgrade. That's
I agree. But like I said, the main advantage is the dependency if you're a library writer. So I think doing that will just help in those scenarios. And then sure, whenever we release 3.0, it shouldn't be like dramatic where, like people need to come back and rewrite their entire project.
Putting it to 0, you are telling them mostly that, oh, you're not compatible with us anymore. You need to rewrite something, and maybe not. That's a different way also. If they see to 0, they will like, oh, we can't upgrade to 0 because there must be a big jump and it will break our stuff. Maybe it won't break at all. So you have to be careful. Also.
Yeah, but also whoever is writing a library for 1.0 and they're utilizing methods that existed in
they might
1.0 and exactly, and that's the problem. So I think the only way is to, make an announcement saying, hey, 2.0, there is an easy transition path. And, moving forward, we would like to keep consistently releasing major every year if possible. And then during the year, we'll try to do minors.
Releasing on a schedule, it's been 14 years. We are not good at that because resources, because things happen, and because there's something that's blocking, so it's hard. I
get it. That's why I said a year or so.
That's what we expect. Also, what I don't want is have to update minor and major versions at the same time. Have a 1.9 something or 1.8 something that is living, and to something that is also living, and like look at Benedict's work, and it's a mess, and there is no way to handle that because some people work on the main branch to add more features, and some people add fixes and stuff in the other one, and then it's diverging, and then something doesn't ship or never ships, and then it's a mess. So we should just say, no, now we are working on 2.0. If there is a security issue and an easy bug fix that we can provide in the old one, we'll do that, but all the new development is done on the main branch. So that
I agree.
We can't sustain 2 branches.
Yeah, no, we should do that. So main will go forward as 2.0 and 2.1 and whatever, as usual.
So like we do today, we have the old releases, and if there is something we can do to patch the previous one because it's used or there is a security and we haven't shipped a new one, then we update the old one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So wait, you're saying we create a release called...
No, I mean, we don't change anything today. We won't have a 1.8x and a 2x. There will be a main branch, and which will be whatever the current version is, 2, 3, 1.8, one version will ship. And what is shipped is a release type or release branch. It's another thing that we support the previous one, we update it, but as soon as we ship a new one, this is now the supported one.
Yeah. So if we release 2.0 and something happened with 1.a, we can port back and then release 1.84.
Yeah, we
just
can
as
say,
a
okay,
patch.
yeah, if we decide that too many people are still on the old one and we care about them and we want to update them, yes, but otherwise take the latest. Yeah.
Yeah, we're moving forward. Yes, yes,
yeah.
I get you. Yeah, I think we're on the same page.
We update the latest release and we continue moving on the current main branch, working on the current main branch. Yeah.
Okay, so
tomorrow, let's say tomorrow we have let's say today, for instance, today we have a main branch. Let's call it 2.0. Okay, we haven't shipped, but it will be the 2.0 version. And we have 1.8.3 now. If there is a security issue today, we update 1.8.3, we ship 1.8.4, and we merge it to the 2.0 branch. And that's the same thing, even if it's called 2.0. And when we ship 2.0, we will work on 2.1. Okay, so main will be targeting 2.1. And if there is an issue, then we'll fix 2.0 to fix 2.0.1. And we'll continue working on 2.1. So
I think we're on the same page.
Okay, good. As opposed to Orchard 1, where we have one 10x that is adding lots of things, one, I don't even remember, the dev branch that is the 1.11, and then we do some features on the 1.11 branch, some features on the 1.10x branch. So we have two working branches where we add stuff in Orchard 1. So that's a mess. We can't do that. Separating the breaking ones and the not breaking ones. The idea is if we decide to take something that is breaking, then let's show that it's breaking by bumping the major number. But honestly, each version will break something. So that's why we kind of implied that 1.x, new x like 1.9, 1.10, 1. Whatever, has some breaking changes. It has always some breaking changes. In terms of APIs, probably.
All right, we'll get everything changed from 1.9 to 2.0 and stage 2.0.
Well,
we just have
if
a few issues that we need to fix.
Got from the issue. Like,
oh, it looks like everybody's
okay. Yeah, I see something up here. Okay,
I just want us all to talk about it in case someone here.
Well, someone is not agreeing with that. Who is that?
Yeah, there's no feedback whatsoever. It's just like a thumbs down.
It's a thumbs up also. So yeah, I see there is some feedback here.
Yeah, it would be helpful if they leave a note.
A lot of peer pressure here. Yeah, more to the point, we need to fix the bugs because these are all bugs currently targeted to MySon 1.9. I will try to do one of those this week as well. My colleague Shari is working on updating our open source Orchard Core extensions solution to the preview, which is important because that involves a lot of testing. So we noticed like half a dozen bugs during that already. So once these bugs are all fixed, we'll try to finish that. Hopefully no other bugs will be surfaced. But I will also try to update Orchard Core Commerce to the preview because that's also a pretty big solution. And one of our other solutions, the solution of .nest at Lombiq too, because this is quite a risky release with system.txt.json. A lot of stuff has broken. And since we don't really have much of an automated QA, I think we should be a little bit diligent with that. So just to say that this process needs to be finished, I think, and all three of these bigger solutions should be updated, and we should have a green light there that we didn't notice any showstopper bugs before we can actually release 2.0.
Okay. There will be a triage on Thursday. Did I miss anything?
Hisham.
Hisham. Is Hisham back? Don't think so because I saw the blue
Isham, we've been waiting for your demo for like a year. Come on.
Okay, if we have enough
of
time,
course.
can start.
Yep. Go ahead. Share your screen.
Okay,
Thank you.
just the screen. Sorry. Did you see my screen?
Yes.
The first theme was about the resource manifest source generator. If we look to the resource management options configuration, today it has a lot of resources, including styles and scripts. All are hard coded. And I think the big problem here with the SRI, a lot of times we find bugs for that. I opened a PR, I think 2 years ago. Let me check here. There is a source generator. Instead of hard code all the styles and resources, I just create a simple JSON file, including the references for all the scripts and the styles. And if we go to the resource management option configuration, it's just like a simple method. And this is happen during the build. When we build the project, it will get all the data, script and style and added them into the source. And now, if I build the project, okay, all up to date. We're just waiting. What will happen if I go to that .peak or any selector, go to the resource manifest generator? You will notice there will be a new class created, include all the styles and script that are come from the JSON. And to prove that, we might add a new resource like crowbar.js. What I need to do only is just like this. Has an entry in the JSON file, build a project, go again here, should be refreshed, go to the resources, resource generator, and it will be there. And the important thing here, which is our main problem, when we add a CDN, just we leave the CDN integrity empty, and the generator will take care about it. So building again. And now the CDN integrity should be filled in. Just a second. Takes a while. Okay. Now if I go again for the sources, resource manifest generator, you will notice the CRI are populated automatically. This is about the resource manifest source generator. And also I remember here in the BR, I think Zoltan mentioned that the Lombiq guys did something similar for Node.js packages, if I'm not wrong.
That's right.
Okay, any questions?
I could just have just 2 remarks.
Go on.
You also created well, it's rather an integration test to check these hashes. Now you can remove them, I suppose.
Yep.
Oh, we don't take this feature and we keep the thing that checks the integrity.
Yep. Weak.
My concern is the definition of the resources is 10 times more complicated from a developer's perspective, because you see the code which is generated, you need to understand how it is generated, and whatever you would change to add a new resource or to update a resource is the same amount of work as if you updated the C# code directly that we have today. The only advantage I see here is that you don't have to paste the CDN integrity value, which I'm not even sure is a good thing, because it means that every time you build the code, you might get a new version of the CDN integrity if the CDN was not integrate. While if it had been compromised, we would generate a new value with the compromised value, maybe. So I'm just saying, I'd rather see the current version that we have, which does nothing. Your code is awesome. That's great to be able to do source generators and everything. It's beautiful. I'm not sure it's the best thing for managing the resource definitions.
But I think the current implementation is hard to manage.
Today, if you run the build with nothing, the build will tell you, oh, this is the value you should have in the code. I know. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think then because if the CDN integrity is built every time the source code changes, what's the point of CDN integrity value if this can vary at every build? Meaning it's generated automatically, fine, but that's dangerous, because if tomorrow the code actually changes, we won't even catch it. It will just be regenerated. So let's remove set CDN integrity totally and get it generated by the view, or I mean, it's useless, I think, in this case. And it's a lot of work just to generate that CDN integrity, like a source generator that is more complex to do. I appreciate the value of the quality of the code. I'm not sure about the added value of the source generated here.
Okay. Also, perhaps Zoltan, he can tell us a little bit about what they did and how the resource generator helped them.
Yeah, sure. It's not actually done yet because it turned out to be harder than initially anticipated. Of course.
Yeah.
One of the things with them, actually, before I answer your question, one of the issues there is that if you use Visual Studio, there can be issues when you initially open a solution with source generator.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, I think my colleague solved it. I don't know how, but it's in the code, so you can look it up. But that's one challenge. Yeah, if you're interested, just please ping me and I will link to the specifics. What we use that, by the way, for is for the version properties in the resource definition, resource manifest. So instead of having, so when you update a library coming from npm, and that's loaded in a package.json. Then we also have to update the versioning and the resource config. Yeah, so the source generator is solely for that. We don't use it for hash generation, just to update the version reference.
Cool, thank you. Okay, good. I have another demo if we are good on time. Otherwise, I may defer to next week.
Is it a 1 hour demo or a 5 minute demo?
No, maybe 5 minutes demo.
Go on.
Okay, let me. That's another one. This is just a prototype or an experiment project that I'm working on last few weeks. It is about the integration of Playwright with the Orchard Core. As we know, Playwright is an open source automation library for browser testing. And as we know, Orchard Core nowadays don't have a testing framework except the one of, I think, from Lombiq guys, that is a UI toolbox. What I did here is just a simple prototype to allow us to test our application. This may be the first part. Let me show you view, test, demos. This file, I will show you how we can write a UI test or end-to-end test using the Playwright and how we can simplify the process. Like, for example, we can simply open a web page by creating a Playwright instance, then choose the browser, the Chromium or Firefox or WebKit, and launch the browser to get the browser instance. Then we create a new page. After that, we can go to a page and check the title for that page or the inner text, inner HTML. What I did here is I built a layer on top of Playwright to simplify the process. You can inherit from the UI test and simply just call await browser.open page async, and it will open that page and give you the reference so you can check various properties like a title, the content, and a lot of functionalities. Like, for example, you can look for a specific element on that page. Like here, we can go and look for, I think, this paragraph in orchardcore.net, and will assert if the element.inner text equal this value. And also, if we go here, a lot of boilerplate for finding the element or create a screenshots. Let me run one example like this. Just in 2 lines of code, we can go to the orchardcore.net harvest and make a screen shot and save it into the disk. Sorry, something goes wrong here. Let me build. Okay, now the screenshot should be saved in the bin debug. Harvest, and that's it. Okay, another thing we add here, you might find yourself looking for various of element inside the page. I created a helper like for this, for those who don't like CSS rules. There's a class called by. It is in the helper namespace. You can create by class name. Sorry, this is not a class. We notice it is an attribute. The attribute is href with the value, this value, that target the A element. Also, this library will help you to generate a CSS rules or selectors for attributes, for tag name, by class name, siblings, and a lot of things. This is not only the thing, but if where is it? Yes, the last one. We can integrate this with the Orchard Core application by just passing the startup class for the web application, like what I did here. So it will automatically run our application, and there are view options here. You can specify the browser type you want to run. It is Edge or Firefox or whatever. By default, it's Edge. Also, you can run your test in headed or headless mode. By default, it is headless. So now I can headless equal false. So now when I run the app or the unit test, it should open this web application. Okay, I think the page is here, and it will assert if the title is set up and the test is passes. This is just not all the things. I think the next step, there are a lot of things I might need to add, like can easily log into the Orchard by a simple method, or set up the site and provide the default credentials and so forth. This is just a prototype to integrate with the Playwright. And if you notice, there are a lot of code you can write with the Playwright, but here it is just a matter of 2 lines of code. And hopefully, if I have time next week, I will show you something special to Orchard.
Okay, and I have questions, but I will keep them for next week.
Okay, thank you.
Because it's been more than 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Sorry.
And this is interesting because we made a few changes on the website last week, actually, and some text would have changed in the meantime. For example, can you please share the link of your repository in the chat, Isham, please?
Yep. Yes. Okay. I think it is here. It is an Orchard Core contrib. This is the repo. I can put it in the chat. Okay. Where is the chat here?
And maybe you can open the link I pasted, the orchardcore.net website.
Yes, Where is it?
Oh, it's new and shiny. Wow.
Which one? Sorry.
Orchardcore.net.
Oh, yeah. Yes, by the way, one of my tests broken. I think you changed something. Yes, there's.
Yeah, I changed the theme, and
Yes.
it should be a bit better to alternate between the backgrounds to display the timeline correctly on all sides of screen.
Yes.
And to display the social media links on the top bar.
Cool. Because I noticed that I think 2 days ago there was another class for this CSS class, and you changed it. I don't know why that this is broken. And finally, I noticed that you changed the theme for them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, all good.
Oh,
If you want to answer any update on the website, that could have been a topic. And we can talk about it next week. Thanks, Ishan, for the demos.
Oh, okay, thank you.
In the last 10 months, we have had 5 demos. We made 5 of them, I'm pretty sure. Oh no, we got one 2 weeks ago. Say bad things. Okay, thanks. See you on Thursday or next Tuesday. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.